Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of all ages, good day to you and welcome back. Glad you guys are here. Today we have ourselves a Silverado. Looks like it's the 2500 non-HD version. I'm assuming this is a gasser, and it's also maybe a two-wheel drive? No, she's 4x4. Interesting kind of vehicle right here. This is a short box extended cab. See this guy? We do not have the full-size doors in the rear. This is the extendo cab. And I don't even think it's a 3-door. This might just be a 2-door extended. That would be a super rare model in this particular Silverado right here. Let's go see the other side. Are we 3-door? Yepper, okay. Yep, 3-door, Silverado 2500, non-HD, four-wheel drive. It's a gasser, short box, a very unique, interesting, and rare build. Customer states clicking noise in front end. Now, I moved this through the parking lot earlier, and we have something slightly more severe than a clicking noise. Starting the engine. All right, so this particular Silverado's got about 163,050 on the odometer, and confirmation we are four-wheel drive. But like I was saying, I went to move this thing around and listen to this. We got something banging down below. I'm not even gonna drive it. It feels like there's parts falling off of this truck. So visual inspection time. Let's get it backed up. We're gonna get her into the shop. I had to displace A-Rod. He was working on the flat stall in that tree 50 right there. And we had to move around. So I'm not gonna dilly-dally around because other people are waiting on me to get out of my own way. So let's get this thing nosed into the building. We'll set it up on the rack and take a look at what is falling off of the front end on this 2000, I think it's a 3. Let's check. Sorry, Aaron. I know you're waiting on us. Oh, I was wrong. It is a year 2000. Early production 2000 Silverado. You know, when I took this car in, he said, I hear a slight clicking noise, something in the suspension or the steering. I thought it was just a steering shaft issue, and turns out we're a little bit more severe than that. Dave, do you hear this thing? Yeah, something's wrong, but no worries, we're gonna find it. So stay tuned because this is gonna be a very good video. Opening the hood.
Look who that guy is.
Whoa. I say it's the ball joint.
It's probably the alternator. I think it's the alternator. Hey Dave, will you I'm gonna climb under there while the suspension's still loaded, and I'm gonna bring a flashlight with me. I want to see what's going down. Can you just jostle that wheel back and forth? Please feel free to be violent with it. Hello, Master Power Stroker. What's up, buddy? Power Stroke Tech Talk with A-Rod. Check out his channel. Woo, shiny. You're gonna get pulled over with those. Against the law. All right, so here's what I'm fixing to do. Get down on the Jeepers Creeper. Dave's gonna rock the steering wheel for us. We're gonna bring in some illuminators to see what's going down. Oh man, what is that? That's not okay. There's our steering gear. And getting down a little farther. We're going in. Oh, I think I found it. Oy. That is a worn out pitman arm, that's for sure. Okay. I hear more. We got one failure. Let's find out what the other one is. Go over here and check out the other side. Yeah, that's even worse. Ow, this is not cool. And the ball joint on the idler arm is also falling out. This thing is moments away from disaster. This vehicle is not even safe to drive. Okay, let me check. I'm wondering if these outer tie rods are any good. Yeah, I do feel some back and forth motion on those outers. Can't tell about these inners. Okay, all right, I'm coming out. Coming out, get me out of here. All right, Dave, we're good, sir. Thank you. The suspension's falling apart. It's pretty bad. Wow. Okay. Okay, so what we're looking at a bare minimum is going to be a pitman arm, which is the one that comes off the steering gear, and the idler arm and bracket, which is it's that unit right there on the frame rail. I always change the brackets with those idler arms, so we're going to do an idler and a bracket at bare minimum just to get that center link in position, and then I'm going to have to reevaluate this inner tie rod and the outer tie rods afterwards. There's just so much play in this system that I don't think I could accurately narrow it down with just replacing those tie rod units. So it's going to need a couple parts, and then maybe a couple more parts. Let me go head up into the office area. We're going to get this Silverado Chevrolet estimated, and we're going to see if this repair is going to take place. All right, we have the green light, so I'm going to go ahead and let this thing down a wee little bit. We're going to get her to a good, comfortable working height, and then we're going to get started. All righty, fellas. So I've got, I have an approval to repair the steering components on this truck. I've done an inspection on this unit and found a couple other knick-knacky / maintenance items that need to be performed, but we're going to focus on the safety issue first, which is the thing that they brought to us first. All right, so here's the deal. What you don't want to do when you're checking out a customer's car is give them, okay?
Can I train the tire sensor?
Can you change
Tire
this?
training tool?
Ooh, yeah, orange tool. Yeah, hang on, guys. I'll be right back. Well, here, since A-Rod interjected himself into our scene of narration, we're just going to bring him in on this conversation. And I did not mean to make that rhyme. So, Aaron, what do you think about this concept? Customer brings you a car. They have their certain concern, but you find a bunch of other stuff as well.
Okay.
Do we or do we not address their immediate concern first? First thing you say out of your mouth is, here was the problem you brought us for, but we found some safety stuff. I'd like to rank them their concern, then safety, which that kind of ties hand in hand, but you still address their concern first.
Absolutely.
Then you move on to the maintenance stuff or anything else that you found, right?
Maybe there's something they didn't even know about.
Yep, exactly. What I'm saying is you don't sell them an air filter when they bring you a car and the wheels are falling off.
No.
Right? You address the wheels falling off, you address their concern, which is probably a noise, and then later on you can go, by the way...
Yeah, by the way, you need this pound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't just sell them all the low-hanging fruit that's high profit and then leave the hard stuff alone. That's my point of my monologue.
You said low-hanging fruit.
Real low-hanging fruit. Exactly. Exactly. So, what we have addressed is their safety concern, which coincidentally is also their complaint. They were complaining of a noise while steering, and that is most definitely a safety concern. So, having said all that, we're going to go ahead and get started to rectify their safety concern and complaint. Smash the subscribe button. The rack is set. Did that when you guys weren't looking. We're going to move this thing up, pull the wheels off, and get this front steering system disassembled ASAP. Why is my lock not clicking? What is this? The lock's not clicking. That's not safe. Let's let her down some, see what happens. Does it engage? Yeah, it engages. That's weird. I wonder what this problem. This problem here. Anyway, we're too high, so I need to come down some. A little bit farther downish. We're gonna go like shoulder height on the wheels and axles. I think that's good. On the locks for safety. Even though that locks was acting a little weird. Yeah, I need to pull that apart and take a look at it. I don't like failing locks. Anyways, let's grab the impact gun. We're gonna grab the 7/8 socket. We're gonna pull these caps, pull these wheels, pull the suspension, steering components, get it all apart, and prep this thing for the new components. So let's get started. Okie dokes, like I said, let's pull the wheels off and the caps. Fun thing about these caps, you can take them off with an impact gun. You shouldn't put them on with an impact gun because these are plastic and they're threaded. And you don't want to impact threaded plastic. That's just my 2 cents. I know people do it, but what you'll do is you'll strip the plastic out on the inside. See the little threads in there? Right there. You'll strip that out because the gun does not know that it's plastic and it doesn't care. And then your hubcaps fall off. Unclickage. All right, wheel, you're coming with me. Okay, let's get in here a little closer. I've actually never seen one wear out this bad, so we're gonna take the close-up view, flashlight down, take the close-up view on these components here, and I'm gonna show you just how worn out this is. This is remarkably unsafe. So again, we're looking right here. This is the center link. This links the 2 tie rod sides, the left wheel and the right wheel together, which also connects to the steering gear through the pitman arm. And then this is the idler arm, which basically mimics the pitman arm to locate the passenger side of that center link. And I'm gonna shake this wheel left and right. Look at that. That ball and socket inside of that idler arm is completely worn away to a point where that shaft is at risk of coming out of that arm. And if that were to come out of there, there is no longer authority on the steering system, rendering the vehicle uncontrollable. And from what we saw from down below, the pitman arm on the other side is nearly just as bad. Let's go pull the other wheel off and then take a look at that driver's side next. Reverse NASCAR again. Formula 1. Boom. All right, let's see what we got to work with on this side. All right, let's scooch on inside of here on this one and look at our pitman arm. Now this is the arm that connects to the steering gear. And we can see that one is just as bad. Maybe a little less worn out, but again, if this ball and socket joint pops out of that housing, you no longer have steering authority. You have no steering at all because that's the one that connects the whole system directly to the steering gear. Okay, so a lot of the work we're gonna do is actually gonna take place through this skid shield right here between the frame rails. So let's run this unit back up in the air some, back to shoulder height. Back subscribe button, round 2. We'll go back up to shoulder height and get to work and start disassembling this particular unit. That's probably about good right there on the locks for some safety action so we don't die. Okie doke, so our Plastech skid panel business here is secured with some 15mm fasteners. I believe there's 5 or 6 of them. Pull these guys out, pull this panel down. Yeah, there's 5. 2 on the back side, 3 up on the front side. Okay, panels down. And now we've got some access to the area that we need to access. All right, so what we're gonna need to do is get that big giant bolt off of there and get this thing unpressed from the splines that are coming out of that steering gear. We also need to get this bolt nut out of here and get this thing to pop free from the center link. Similar situation on the idler side, and then the idler arm, we're just gonna unbolt that right here at its bracket and pry that guy out. I ended up finding an OE replacement idler arm bracket and the idler arm, so that's gonna come as one component. And then of course we have the pitman arm as well. So I think what we should do first is get the center link free. So let's pull these cotter pins out, this side and that side. We'll lose those pins and then get a puller to pop that stud out of the center link. That's the plan. On my always non-plan fan. Okay, we're coming in with some pretty aggressively tipped needle noses. And we're gonna get this cotter pin out. Just gonna, well, come here if I get a hold of it. Gonna unbend it, straighten it out, and then feed it back through its hole here. Easier said than done sometimes, because it's bent. Get a hold of it on the other side, pull and twist and pry, and we can pull it through. That's why I have these aggressive pliers, because they really get a hold of things. Kinda, sometimes. But this time, I don't know. I can always upgrade the aggression, the pliers. Get more aggressive pliers. There we go, it's coming through. Put a little twist in it. Now we really can't go anywhere. And this is the reason I do not like to use or reuse cotter pins. I mean, I probably could reuse it, but it's utterly destroyed. So I believe that that's a 21 mil. Let's hit it with an impact socket here. Did it come off? Nah. I was hoping the shaft was going to be loose on the center link, but it is not. Okay, no worries. Put the nut aside, and we're going to go in there with a puller and try to pop that thing apart. Real quick, I'm going to pry bar this down if I can. I need to create some space to fit the puller in between the tie rod, or I'm sorry, the center link and the pitman arm. I was looking at a tie rod when I said that. That's how that happened. Linguistic errors. Ding. Okay, let's see how this is going to work out. We've got a pitman arm puller here. This is actually for the other piece on the steering gear, but on these Chevys, these ones tend to fit quite nicely, but you have to rotate them some. That way the flats on the end of the puller can engage more surface area on the center link. And there's usually a little divot in the bottom of these studs. If there's not a divot, you just kind of eyeball it, and the point of the puller will create a divot. And then we just hit it with an impact and pop that guy apart. These can actually be incredibly difficult, but I've got the system pretty much dialed in. And I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, when you say things like that, that's when things tend to go wrong. Anyway, let's send this and see what happens. Booyah. Popped it loose. Beautiful. Now, we'll go over to the passenger side, repeat words procedure on the idler arm, and then we'll continue with this assembly. All right, off to the passenger side. Let's see, right around, yep, I can see what we're trying to see right through here. Good. A little bit of light on the subject. Pliers in action. We'll give that a straight pull down. Straighten that one out. Straighten that one up. No wonder English is hard. Straighten it out and straighten it up. It's the same thing. And flashlight. The anti-gravity is weak today. Wiggle that guy through. Everything's a hammer in some capacity. There. We'll grab the back side. Just give it a twist. There we go. Just spin it in a circle and it comes right out. Beautiful. 21 impact socket on the castle nut. Pull that off. And time to get the puller. Okay, pitman arm puller coming in. Let's lengthen the shaft. And I like to turn these the way that, well, I turn them clockwise because I'm going to turn the shaft clockwise. And if this thing would be rotated in this direction, for example, as you turn the shaft to tighten it, it could actually walk this around and cause that clearance to disappear and then make the top of this thing pop off. And we don't want to do that. We just want to, one single event, set it up the right way. Planning is good. Let's send it. Nice, beautiful, that came off. Perfect. Let's see just how loose this guy really is. Look at that. Not okay. Yeah, she's worn out pretty bad. All right. Okay, so since that pitman assembly is completely free of the rest of the steering linkage, we're gonna go ahead and pull that component off next. We've got a 21mm headed bolt here, and then there should be nuts on the other side. We pull those bolts out and then pry bar that whole bracket assembly out of the vehicle. So we'll come on in with the wrench, get a hold of the nut on the back. Can't see it. It's a kind of a blind nut. Let's make sure it's a 21, which yes it is. Grab it with the boxed inside. I cannot see. Tell you what, I'm gonna reach around the left side and get my finger on it and use that to guide the wrench in. There we go. Okay, wrench is on. 21mm socket on the wobble bit. Love the wobblies. Let's go ahead and, whoa, there goes that light again. Good thing these are good flashlights. No, I'm all butterfingers. There we go. It's hard to control your wobbly bits with just one hand. Okay, the nut's down there on top of the panel. I heard it. It hit plastic. Gotta find it. Anyway, got the bolt out. Now, where's my nut? Right. Aha, I feel you. There it is. That's our nut. Okay, that's one removed. Let's get the next one. Wobble coming in. You get a hold of my wrench too. Flashlight. Oop, there's the washer. I didn't see that other washer go anywhere. Maybe it's stuck to the vehicle. No, don't feel it either. Okay. Try to go in there with a pry driver. Just walk this thing right out. And voila, one idler and bracket assembly removed. Okay, now it's the fun part. We need to get the pitman arm off of the steering gear. Let me get this light set up here. So here's the deal with these pitmans. These come as a 4-spline or a 3-spline. And what I mean is there's a master spline. You can see right there how there seems to be one of the little teeth missing right there in the center, front and center right in front of us. If you look 90 degrees, you see another one that's obviously a 4-spline. If it is a larger separation, I believe we're gonna, well, what's 360? Man, I'm losing it. What's 120 degrees? There we go. If the other one is 120 degrees off, then that's going to be your 3-spline. You're going to need to know if it's a 3-spline or a 4-spline when you order, and oftentimes you cannot see the splines here because there's supposed to be a dust cover on the steering gear, which it has disintegrated and fallen away. But we can tell from this design here that this is undoubtedly a 4-spline because I can see the other master spline 90 degrees off. Now, the other thing, some of these, and this one included, is a tapered splined output shaft from this steering gear. Meaning as you tighten this, it wedges this pitman onto that spline shaft. So these things get really, really, really tight, and they're a bear to get off of there. I might be able to sneak a puller in here and pop that out. Worst case scenario, I've got to disconnect this steering gear and remove it in order to extract that pitman arm off of that spline. So this is the hard part. This is the moment in question. Let's get started and see if I can get this thing to come apart. Okay, so we have the reappearance of the angry pliers. These are quite aggressive and similar to a pipe wrench, and I should be able to put a decent amount of leverage on this. I'm gonna try to get this nut off of here with the pliers first. If I can't get the nut off, we're gonna have to, oh yeah. Okay, well, it's a step in the right direction. If I can't get it off with this, we automatically have to remove the steering gear from the frame to get this to come loose. But this one seems to be capitulating, which is good. Angry pliers for the win. Yeah, there's just no space in there between the frame and that bolt to get a socket. So it's either gonna come off or it's gonna be a lot harder than anticipated. So we have our lock washer and the nut. Got to reuse these, don't lose them. All right, so I've got, this looks like it's gonna be the only puller that might fit in here, but you can see the splines on that shaft are actually larger than the opening here in the puller. So if it's going to engage in the slightest, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think this is gonna work, because you can see the tip right here is riding on the edge of those threads. If I were to try this and it slips off, which it probably will, what it's gonna do is it's gonna booger up those threads and potentially ruin it. This almost works, and I know this thing's heavy enough to fit, or to break it loose. Oh, idea, I know, watch this. I'm gonna take the nut, and we're gonna put that nut on there. We'll put that back. That's gonna protect the threads, and it'll actually give us a little bit more space for this puller to engage on the shaft. This might work. Hey, Rod's here. What do you think, man? Is that gonna work? The wrong tool for the right job? Yeah, I'm gonna try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't work? His face, he's just like, nah, I don't know, man. You're playing with fire.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna have to edit it out. I was gonna say, you got that video spot?
Okay, so this tight squeeze, close quarters combat, but I'm gonna try to pull this off. What we do, we get this thing set up, hang on to it, and I'll come in with the 90-degree impact flashlight. Okay, it's on, it's in position here. It's applying force. It's applying a lot of force. I need to get some lubricant on these threads, so I tear them up. So we've got a lot of pressure trying to push this thing down, but it doesn't want to budge. That doesn't mean we're sunk yet. There's still options here. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna wrap on that thing with this air hammer, and we're gonna try to deform and jostle this thing a little bit and cause it to become detached from the steering gear. Let's see what happens. Loud noises. Look at that. Beautiful. That's what we wanted to see. A little bit of pressure, then some impacts, and it is a part. Disconnected. No longer part of the assembly. Now you can pull the nut back off. Set that aside with its washer. There we go. The destroyed and deadly pitman arm has been removed. So while we were over here hammering away, one component has arrived. I have a replacement. This is a Moog problem solver unit. That was kind of the only one of these available. We've got a new grease retaining piece of foam. You can see this thing's already grease packed inside, and it has a grease fitting on it so you can add more grease later on. So what we need to do, slip this thing in around the back, and we maintain the same orientation. If you were to get the steering wheel turned by accident, you could put these on like 90 degrees off, which was it'll make for a very difficult reinstallation. This steering wheel was locked in position, and we know that the other arm was in the home position, pointing straight back away from our point of view. So we'll get that thing set up in position there, and we'll start to get the nut threaded onto the shaft. Yeah, it's got that lock washer as well. Gotta have that lock washer in there. That's imperative. It means it's a big deal. It's kind of important. Thread this guy in position here. Now I just need to get some pliers and start applying some torque to that washer and that nut. Here, we'll try that first just to run the threads down with the crescent wrench here. Not a huge fan of these particular type of wrenches. They're prone to slipping on smaller fasteners, but on this this big boy, we should be able to get pretty far along, and then we'll finish it off with the angry pliers. We will also employ the use of the air hammer to make sure this thing is fully in position here as well. I'll show you what I mean when we get some torque here. A little bit at a time, just keep wrenching, quarter turn at a time. Getting pretty tight. We're already running out of space here. Angry pliers, finish it. Get a good bite on it right here. And pull. Back up. Okay, one more pull. I'm pushing against the bumper with my other arm here so I don't pull the truck off the rack. It's possible. Oh, tighter, tighter. I'm pretty much gonna get this as tight as I possibly can, because again, I want to wedge this thing onto that gear. A little more. There we go. So here's what I'm going to do. We need to make sure that this thing's not willing to go any farther up onto that shaft. So I'll do the same thing that we did to break it loose. Give it a couple little impacts here. Loud noises returning. Can even get under it, maybe. Ah, too far. There. Woo! The hose is broken. Okay, so what that would have done is shocked the metal and allowed it to relax if that's possible. Meaning if there's any space or if something's hanging up, that will help to make the thing slide up onto the shaft a little farther. Now I can attempt a little bit more torque with the wrench. Yeah, we got a little bit out of it, didn't we? See that? Click. I think we are good to go with that installation right there. Now at this point, I'm kind of dead in the water. I do not have the either arm or bracket, so we're on a parts hold for right now. Like I mentioned, I have some other things that we're going to do in this truck. I'm not going to do that stuff on camera because it's fluid services on the dips and whatnot. So I will return with you fellas once my new part arrives for our steering project. Quick intermission. I have received a delivery today. I don't know if this is my parts because it doesn't feel like it, and I usually don't order parts from Amazon, so I'm puzzled. Time to do some unboxing. Perhaps this is a something from a viewer, maybe? Amazon, what do we have? It's got some gift receipts. Yeah, it's a gift for you. Started watching since the 30,000 subscriber mark. From Mr. G. McNoyle. I can't pronounce it. I can't read. McNichol. There we go. McNichol. Can't read. Horrible. What do we have? We have a can. A can of Lyle's Golden Syrup. It's not syrup, syrup. We have some syrup. Premium sugar refineries. Nice! Oh, this is some fantastic syrup. It's 454 grain. High velocity. Yeah, nice. I like it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the syrup. Well, that's cool. A surprise unboxing for some syrup. Thank you. I am excited to taste it on my waffles and crepes. Now that's nasty. Drain it out the bottom hole, fill it up through the top hole, but that's nasty. Okay, 4 days later, emergency must have special order part. That's right, we have the idler and its bracket. That is the complete unit. This is an AC Delco component, part number 190153392. I don't know how relevant that is to folks watching, but some people would like to know. So there's our part number. Anyway, this is pretty much the exact same carbon copy as the unit that's coming out. Now, what I can't tell is if this is an OE unit or if it's already been replaced or not. See, it's a Delco unit. That does not mean that that's actually what the car was built with. This could be a production run after the fact. And we do have some differences here. Look at the head on the end of this unit. Different shape and different size. This one's a little bit thicker. And that one's got a grease fitting, that's got a grease fitting, but we do not have these part numbers etched in the side of this unit right here. So this is slightly different, but it's going in. This is the one that fits. It's a Delco. That's what's recommended. Let's get this thing inside and bolted on, and we can get this thing back on the ground. I kind of wanted this car done like, well, last week, but I did not get that delivery for that component until, well, this morning. So now we're behind schedule. Yeah! Okay, so we're back down below. New component coming in. Let's go ahead and turn that so it's oriented properly. I removed the plastic cone from the end of the tip there. We don't need that. So what we need to do is get this thing set up in its little home here. Wiggle it in. There we are. We get our first bolt ready. Got one washer, another washer, 2, and our nut. So let's see here. Around the back with the washer, and around the back with the nut. Now we just need to line it up. I'll pivot it, I think, or not. Hammer. Everything's a hammer. Seriously? The hammer's not good enough. I need one with more horsepower and less torque. There we go. Okay, next fastener coming in. Got the bolt, both washers, and the nut. This thing that'll reach around treatment here. You guys probably can't see, but we can feel it. Okay, thread it on. Let's get the impact out and put some torque on these 2 fasteners right here. Okay, 21 wrench. It's gonna go on the nut. And then we'll come in with the socket and the impact. Slip linkages. Yeah, I lost a socket and a flashlight at the same time. That's the dangers of the wobble sockets. They get away from you. Get that top unit. Cool beans, good to go. The bracket is secure. Now we need to secure the center link to that idler arm. So we just raise the arm up, get it lined up here, push that into position. And over there on the right, out of frame, we're also sliding this arm up over the pitman arm. Right there. And it fell back down. Okay. Well, that was futile. So coming back in again, I'll bring the nut with me. Raise this unit back up. And we'll get the nut threaded so the arm can't fall down. There we go. Good. Okay, impact's coming up through the hole here. Let's tighten down. Ooh, that pinch lock's not wanting to go. Okay. Angry pliers coming back in again. Watch this. What I'll do is I'll get a hold of this center link and I will twist it. Put some torque on it, and that's going to put a side load on the stud and hopefully create enough friction we'll put enough friction on it where the threads can turn. So now, back her up some over here off to the right, we have the nut that's going to go on that pitman arm. This one's a castle nut, so we'll have to put a cotter pin in it. Up through the hole again. Where's that hole at? Right there. Lined up, perfect. Cotter pin time. So, come in right through, there's the hole. We'll grab that pin. Wrap that around nice like. And around this side. Oh, boogered that up, didn't I? There we go. Okay, that's pinned in position. Good to go. Let's fetch the grease gun, get some lubrication on all these components here, and then we'll get the cover back on. Okay, grease gun coming in. We'll just plug that into the fitting there. Give it a couple pumps. What I'll do is watch the bulge right here in that seal. When I see that seal start to bulge ever so slightly, which we just did. There we go. That's plenty of grease because this thing's already grease filled as it is. I'm just adding a little bit extra just to make sure, because you never know. I wonder. Can't seem to reach anything. Is that okay? Here, I know. We'll make it fit. Watch this. Angry pliers for the win. We'll just bend the grease gun some. A little bit more angle for our dangle here. There we go. It's a custom grease gun. That's what we're doing. Doing custom modifications. Yeah, now we're going. Pump it up. Give it back to me. Oh no. Come on. There we go. While we're here, let's go ahead and we will grease the outer tie rods. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll wipe the old grease off. That way we're not shoving old grease or dirt in with the grease. Oh, you see the bulge? And looks like we've got a fitting on the inners as well. Leaking. Oh, saw the bulge. That one's good. 2 more on the other side. Let's maneuver on over. There's the bulge, and 1 more right up here. Good to go. Awesome. Okay, front end is lubricated. Let's get the skid panel put back together. Oh, I forgot one. Wait. There's 1 more fitting way back on top of that that pitman arm. Hang on here. Let me get a hold of that one next. I bent it again. All right, we're greasing. There we go. We were greasing. Hang on. Getting all stuck. Yep. Got some. Got the bulge at the seal. That one is good as well. Woo. Okay. Yeah, see, this is why people don't grease this stuff, because it's kind of hard to get to. And it gets omitted more often than not. Folks are like, well, it's got grease in it. It's fine. You know what, while we're here, we'll do the upper control arms as well. Let's let this thing down some. Silverado coming down. Off the lock. There is the fitting right here for the uppers. It's ready for its close-up. I already got the lowers when you guys weren't looking. There we go. I'm watching the boot right there past the hose. Waiting for the bulge. And it's 3 pumps. Okay, yep, the boot is bulging. We got it. Let's wipe off all that extra. It's the spillage, the overflow. And we've got 1 more to do. Right, yeah. Oh, I heard it. It made a noise when it came out. Yep, that one's good. Where's that spillage at? Yep, bulge is bulging. Plenty of grease in this unit. This thing is lubricated. Let's get the cover back on and we're about ready to rock and roll and get this thing out of here. Going back up. Beans locks are set. Let's get our cover. Okay, flashlight's coming with me. That one. Cover is coming in. Again, there's 3 fasteners up top and then 3 more, or 2 more at the bottom. Fun fact, if you were to acquire the skid plate for the Hummer H2, I believe they're a direct bolt-on for these Silverados, so you can upgrade these to an aluminum cover, and they also come with shields for the transfer case, so you could Under Armour your car with factory GM parts, which that's kind of cool. I might do that to my truck. Lose the plastic, put in aluminum. Cover clicks. All right, wheels on next, and we're ready to rock and roll and take this thing for a test drive. All right, hood coming down. Hood didn't latch. Hood coming up. Hood coming down again. Hood is now latched. Good to go. Rack is cleared. Hubcaps are on. Let's go out, take this thing for a quick little spin, and make sure that the steering system's not falling out of it. Beginning engine restarting sequence now. All right. Hey, look at that. No more clickety-clackety steering components. That's fantastic. Cool. Think we have a win here. We've got a win for sure. I mean, from what we saw earlier, we couldn't have lost. There's no way you get that wrong. Nope. You guys would recall earlier, I mentioned there was other work that had to be done. I can recap that real quick while we're backing out. We did a bunch of fluid exchanges on this unit. There was transmission, brake fluid. I did front and rear differentials with some AMSOIL. And we also did the transfer case because there was a leaking transfer case output shaft seal. That's the one that goes around the drive shaft. So we tossed a new seal in there and then did a fluid exchange on the transfer case as well. So we got all the maintenance right back up to where it should be, especially at 163,050 miles on the odometer. All those fluids break down. I don't understand how folks can religiously change oil yet pay no mind to other fluids in the vehicle, as if those fluids do not suffer from oxidation and decomposition. I really don't get it. I mean, it stands to reason that if your engine oil does it, your other fluids would do it as well, but some folks disagree. I do not comprende. I don't disagree, that's why I change fluids. Anyway, we have no knocking. Our steering wheel is straight and centered. We do not have a pull to either direction. No noises. It's shifting. It's braking. This truck is good to go. So, having said all that, fellas and ladies, I have no more to offer you in this particular video, other than a thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this situation in the comment section down below. Do not forget to tap that like button while you're down there. And most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video, in a Silverado, in a transmission. Parking Silverado, powering down. Pew. Goodbye, Silverado.